We're back at it, season 11 of Heartland Waterfowl. Great to be back on the road with you guys as we kick off another season in North Dakota for the early goose season. Lots to talk about here to kick off another season of Behind the Blind on our Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel, which, by the way, there's an opportunity for you to win a case of shotgun shells from Kent Cartridge. Now, I'm not sure which ones they are, if they're the Fast Steel 2.0 or the brand new Fast Steels, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But either way, we're going to get you a case that will get you set up to start the season. So today was exciting to get back out there, but they're not who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were. Denny Green, baby.
That's right.
Always got to worry about the fog every year you come up here.
Yeah, but dude, it was crazy when we got up this morning and we walked out the door. It was crystal clear. We were literally like, "Oh man, you could literally see the Milky Way." Like, there's and then
There's the Big Dipper.
Yeah, and then we go 15 miles north.
Yeah.
And it's like
can't see your hand,
fog, dude.
Yep, can't see your hand.
Stephen King, the fog,
and
it was weird. And two, what I thought was weird, it never burned off. You know, a lot of times, usually by like 9 o'clock at the latest, like it's starting to burn off. You know, once that sun comes up, it starts. You know, but this morning it just
lasted until noon. It was still foggy when we were on our way back.
It hung around today.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So we'll get into a clip that will show you how we did in just a minute. We had a lot of challenges that took place this morning once we got to the field. I actually had an issue with my tire, which was losing air, and I had to drop the guys off and then pull out. And then Logan had to tow Cody to the entry or to the field entrance.
Cody pulls down to the grass line to cut some grass for the blinds, and he comes like walking back. And he's like, I think my alternator just went out. My truck just shut off and it won't start.
He goes, we got a bigger problem, boys.
What's that story your dad tells when he's in Alaska, when he runs out of gas? He's like, Richard, we're in big trouble, man.
The only thing I can think of is the last time he told that story, you Snapchatted him that filter of the mouse. So he sounded like a mouse while he was talking.
That was funny. But yeah, we had bigger problems this morning than just the fog, for sure.
Right. So, and next to no wind, that didn't help either. Before we get to the clip, I would like to remind you the Behind the Blind, about sent the Papa Ron podcast. Behind the Blind is brought to you by Tetra Herring. They're the title sponsor of Behind the Blind. Go find them online at tetraherring.com. I'm actually sporting one of their brand new hoodies, which is really cool. So let's take a look at the clip. Unfortunately, it was a good volley. I mean, it was great. It worked good. Logan will give us a little more analysis on it in just a bit, because I know he's got an opinion on it. But and unfortunately, it was the only volley that we got to play with today. Go ahead.
Coming on the right side. The right side.
You just got to listen to Cody.
Sounds like you should have called it about right there.
Listen.
Get him.
But he's like six people down from me. Like, he was like on the other side of the blind. I couldn't hear him. But
hey, that's a good volley.
But that's why we come here, right? You know, like we're working the kinks out, knocking the rust off.
Dude.
You know?
That's it.
It's early season geese, man. We're at what I say this morning. We're in OTAs. We're doing OTAs right now.
Yeah, this is our training
This is
camp.
training camp.
We like to set up the blinds and tear them down just for fun.
All right, let's make sure we really know how to do this come November, guys.
So only 6 birds, I think, we got out of that volley, right?
Yeah.
Not that it was a huge volley, but it was a good volley for us. Unfortunately, the only volley that worked for us today. We get comments all the time, whether it's our YouTube channel, which we, by the way, thank you for engaging with our content and liking and commenting, whether it's on YouTube or our social media pages. We appreciate the feedback. And all
shout
the
out
kind
to
words.
the fans.
Yeah,
Shout out
for
to the fans.
sure.
We're definitely gaining a lot more traction.
Yeah, we've
awesome.
had over 4,000 new subscribers in just the last 30 days. This thing has really taken off. I think we
Shout
have
out to all you.
25,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We started this, maybe we had like 3,000 or something. So the thing is growing. But thanks for all the comments. But we get comments regularly that kind of remind us that we sometimes maybe take this for granted, some of the elementary aspects that come with waterfowl hunting. And so I'd like for you guys to kind of explain what your theories are on decoy placement on the early goose season.
Well, I think that obviously kind of depends on the scenario, the situation you're in. Being that this is early goose season, we're up in North Dakota, a lot of big fields, a lot of either really, really flat fields or fields that have, big rolling hills through them. Today, particularly with the fog, we thought that our best option being in this giant wheat field was to sit in the middle. Last night they were kind of going over a knoll and sitting down in this kind of little pocket. And the only way that we identified it was there was one little strip that the farmer didn't cut. It was the header missed. It was like maybe 4 inches wide.
Right.
But we could see it all the way across the field, and we could see they're going down right on the other side of that. So we figured, and they were tight grouped, all the birds that were in there, which 100 of them maybe, were going into that one specific spot. So instead of trying to, with the fog, sit on an edge with a better hide,
be off the X,
we decided that it would be better to sit down in that, I'll call it a pocket, so to speak, and just run the blinds out in the middle. And I think it worked fine. I think it worked great for the scenario, and we did what we wanted to do, right? But we only saw half the birds this morning. Yeah. Who knows if we got short stop? We had a flock of 4.
We had one group short stop as well.
Yeah, but who knows?
We could hear them on the water behind us still, like all morning.
Yeah, and we heard some to the east, some to the south.
That hole where they were roosting, it sat down in a saddle pretty far.
Yeah. They're climbing out of it for sure.
If it was foggy where we were up on top of the hill, it was super foggy.
Yeah.
Down in that saddle where the where the roost actually was. But
so yeah, I mean the end result was we will sacrifice the hide because we know we have some fog, right? That will help us hide ourselves additionally, in hopes that being on the X, the birds are actually going to see us and find us versus trying to pull something you can't see or didn't even know. I mean, we couldn't see 50 feet in front of us this morning. So obviously that was a very challenging element. So another thing that we did that, I would say ran a little bit bigger spread than we normally do in the early season. And obviously just for visibility purposes, spread it out as far as we could, as far as we can shoot,
Right.
That's one of the things that we always fight the battle with. Obviously we're wanting to shoot birds in camera distance at 20 yards.
How far do you put the farthest decoy?
We battle with that, but being able to, early season, being able to shoot your spread, because you're not always, especially today, no wind, right? No wind and fog. Like we had that group center up, right? But normally we're having that group finish off the edge. And if we can't shoot our decoys because of the early season, them not really care in the world, or them not knowing any different because they're young birds, whatever the case may be, it obviously, if you're able to shoot your spread, you're golden, Yeah. It just is a little, I don't know what you want to call it. Saving grace.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for those who are listening, maybe, don't get to experience waterfowl hunting as much as we do, and are looking for suggestions or some sort of information that would help them become better waterfowl hunters. Joe, what is your opinion on early season geese and kind of a rule of thumb that somebody from maybe a novice or elementary level could take away?
One of my biggest things that I try to press on is your actual decoy numbers. Okay. And actually setting your spread exactly, like pay attention to how the geese are placed in the field, meaning like, are they all
during the scout?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they all bunched up together? Are they coming out in 5 packs, 10 packs, 20 packs? Pay attention to, how they, when you're watching a group come off the water and you watch where they land in relation to birds that are already on the ground. You want to try to mimic that in any way that you can. So I guess what I'm trying to say is try to place your decoys and mimic your spread exactly how you saw the birds in the field. If they're strung out, like a good example is whenever you're hunting like a barley or a wheat field and there's sprayer tracks, you know how the birds are like always in the sprayer tracks.
Yep.
And they all have their heads down, and the only birds with their heads up are the ones that are walking from this track to the next track, right?
Right.
So whenever you're setting your spread, you want to make sure all your feeders are in the sprayer tracks and all your sentries and walkers are in between them, right?
Yep.
You want to mimic exactly what you see. And two, it's not like we're hunting big feeds up here. Right. We've obviously talked about that in the past. You know, if we find 100 birds, that's awesome. If we find 75, it's definitely huntable if they come out in the right groups.
Yeah.
So what I think about all the time is like when those first couple groups come off in the morning, which pretty much are always going to dictate how your morning goes, right? Say there's 100 birds using that feed. You don't want to put 100 decoys out. There hasn't been one time since those birds have been hatched have they ever flown to that spot and seen 100 birds already there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I always try to put out less decoys than what, you know, we think is, if there's 100 in there, maybe put 45, 50 decoys out, you know, but you don't want to put, you don't want to put per se all your eggs in one basket right there. You know, you want to, you know, like I said, those birds.
You don't need to throw the whole trailer at
those
them.
birds have never flown off that roost, come up over that hill and seen 100 birds already there on the ground at 6:45 in the morning feeding already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So those are
Migrators.
Right. Get them molts, baby. Here they come. But those are things I try to pay attention to, especially this time of year, is place your decoys exactly how you saw the birds and pay attention to really how many are using it and how the size of flocks that are coming out and how many birds are there as they're coming out. Like,
sure. What's their behavior when they're there too?
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Everett, we haven't had a chance to have you talk. You've been sitting there just being very patient for your golden opportunity to be a participant in the Behind the Blind podcast.
That's what you want to call it.
Don't guide the guide.
Don't guide the guide, which, by the way, I did a terrible job by not introducing everybody who's on this. If you might be listening and not watching the video, Logan Burditt, Joe Palumbo, Everett Adkins, I'm Ronnie Philips. Everett, what would you like to add as far as your knowledge and experience in hunting early season geese that maybe Joe hadn't touched on?
Just keep it simple.
Right.
I mean, these are birds that haven't heard a whole lot of aggressive calling. They're not out here eating. I mean, they're eating because they're hungry, not because it's survival and it's cold and all that
I
stuff.
think overcalling, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point that you touched on, overcalling. Because people, it's like, first hunt of the year, they want to blast out. You know,
because they're overzealous. There's the first.
Like,
You heard those geese on the water back behind us this morning. It's like, really? That's a goose?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Some of them could barely talk.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Right.
So it didn't take much for you to convince those birds. I mean, basically this morning you're just telling them where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And once they figure that out, then you get off of them and let them come do their thing.
Yeah, in the fog that matters big time.
The fog. All about the fog.
Because like you can damn sure blow them out in the fog.
Yeah.
Right. Because your call is going to sound different in the fog than it does on a crystal clear blue day. Right. You know what I mean?
You get out there in this and, you know, everybody wants to blow their call for the first time, but really you just need one, maybe two guys doing it.
Right. Right.
So the only thing I would add to that is because of the issue in the early season with birds short stopping, I think you're absolutely right. When they're out and they're moving around, you just want to give them some confidence calls. You don't want to overcall, but then when they get to that point where you feel like they're going to short stop, you might want to hammer them on a little bit. And I know I joke around a lot about flagging, but I think flagging is obviously really important to make yourself a little bit more visible.
Right.
You know, we've talked about it last year during the early season where we've been up here and we've flagged them to 40 or not 40 yards, but 50, 60 yards just to give them a little bit of so they'll keep coming.
Right.
Whereas it's not necessary later in the season. The only other thing I would add is don't be too hard on yourself because they are early season geese. If you can't get them to finish, if they're doing something different, they're still bunched up in their family groups. They're not doing what they typically do in the fall. So if you get your butt handed to you, be so hard on yourself. It's just the way it is.
They don't know
in
what
the
to
early
do
season.
yet.
No,
They just don't
exactly.
know what to do yet.
Exactly.
They're too dumb for their own good.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's what my dad's always said about me.
That's what he still says too.
Shout out SRP Outdoors on YouTube. Check him out.
Check it
Hey, look, if y'all want to follow something,
Which came to birth here at the early goose season in North Dakota.
SRP
like and
Outdoors.
subscribe. SRP Outdoors.
That's too funny.
Like it, swipe it,
And
and all that good
all that
stuff.
Oh, it's too funny.
Can you put that on my T-shirt?
Hey, if you know, you know.
Can you put that on my T-shirt too?
Oh my God, yes.
Along with WWED.
Oh yes.
So all of that just completely distracted me.
Completely
now.
off topic.
Yeah. So what I was getting ready to say was, we've been getting a lot of feedback, as I alluded to earlier, on YouTube and our social media, where people are asking questions. They want more information. They want to pick our brain. And so we're really going to challenge ourselves in the Behind the Blind this season to talk less about our hunts. We're obviously going to share that with you, but we have a YouTube video that's out where we're producing that video from that hunt and releasing it within 24 hours. In fact, Dakota has already released the video from today's hunt. It's a great video. We encourage you to go check it out. While you're there, subscribe, like, and comment, because that will get you entered to win the case of shells from Kent Cartridge, and we'll draw the winner for that at the end of the week.
If they're giving away those 2x4s, those ones we were using last year,
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Those are awesome. Those are the
I'm
new
telling you
Fast Steel Plus that just came out. I think they released that to the public. I mean, we had the opportunity to shoot the prototypes, if you want to call it that, last
They're
year.
sweet. They're sweet.
Give them some feedback on that, but they are legit. And so I think it was sometime over the summer, maybe in July, I think they released that to the public. But they got the BB2s, the 2x4s. Yeah, go ahead.
4x6s.
4x6, yeah.
Oh,
I believe,
that's a
right?
good
I'm
duck
pretty sure they
load,
got
dude.
4x6s.
The 4x6.
That would be a good one.
That's a good.
That
duck
sounds like a
load,
really
boy.
good
The 2x4s
yeah.
work for everything. The double Bs and the 2s will be great for big late season geese.
Yeah.
But they smack.
Yeah.
They smack.
Yeah.
So make sure you comment on this. Do us a favor, too. Share it with all your friends. Get the word out there about what we're doing. We're going to try to bring more informative information. Is that a thing? Informative information as opposed to informative information.
Yeah, we're not fake news.
No fake news here. This ain't CNN. Okay.
I said that and I was like, I don't know if that sounds right. Anyway, so we were talking about King Cartridge and Fast Steel Plus. I guess now that the new season is here, season 11, we've got some new partners that we're excited about. We've got a lot of the old partners that are back with us. We're going to share with you what we're going to be doing this season as we travel across the country, bringing you new content. But we have some new partners, and one of which was one that kind of came late at the end of the year last year, and we're stoked to be with them. It's a long-term deal. We're going to be with them for a handful of years, but Heartland Waterfowl is officially geared by First Light.
Shout out First Light.
Yeah. In fact,
It's legit.
this stuff really is. It is very comfortable. It is incredible. We are wearing the Typha camo. And there's, no bad words at all to say about what we're wearing.
It's good gear. It
It
really
is.
Yep.
And something new that we're going to be doing in collaboration with First Light, they are also, I guess I could just say it as they own Meat Eater.
Yeah.
That's the way to say it, right?
Yep.
And so if you are familiar with Ranella and Meat Eater and the
whole
YouTube
brand,
channel, that
whole
brand, they are
yeah.
crushing it. So shout out Meat Eater.
Yeah, big time,
We are
dude.
going to be creating content as we're out on the road filming this stuff and distributing it on Meat Eater. So if you get a chance, make sure you go over to the Meat Eater channel if you haven't already. Subscribe, like, get engaged with what they're doing there.
Yeah. They got a
First
lot
Light
of
as
cool
well.
stuff going on.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, they're
Yeah.
crushing it.
And there's a lot of partners involved there too. I mean,
Yeah.
Phelps, elk calls.
Mm-hmm.
They've got DSD, which is super cool. They're just partnering with Vortex, right? I mean, they're doing really good things. They really are.
Yeah,
It's
obviously
awesome.
we're partnered with Vortex and
Right.
have been for
Right.
damn near the entire time we've been doing
Yep.
this show. But they're
Right.
also partnered with Tangle Free Waterfowl, and
Yeah.
we are now proud. Corey Foskett, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Thanks for the decoys.
Yeah. So we've been running the Flight Series full body decoys, and they're fully flocked. They call them skinnies, the silhouettes. this morning, and actually that we threw those out this morning, and that was probably the best looking skinny I have ever
They look
seen.
good.
Yeah,
They
really,
really do.
really impressed with
Not
that.
shiny at all. That's the thing that you've seen about the skinny decoy is that if the sun's beating on it just right, they
Right.
can put off a glare. And with
Right.
that fully flocked, the flocking that they have on there, they look very real.
Right. And they're dark.
It's dark,
They're
but not
dark.
black.
Great
right?
contrast.
It's
Great contrast.
It's a dark decoy, but
it's not a black and white.
Yep.
It's not a black and white.
Yep.
Which
I like the dark. I'm
Black and
personally a big
whites-
fan of the dark, but not black.
black and whites have their place and their time.
Yep.
I agree with that concept and that idea 100%. But the thing about these is they're this great contrast throughout the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this morning, like you put them out in that wheat field, they pop.
Yeah.
And two, with the fog, like that's great contrast how dark they are against that gray background.
Yep.
Like, and we were talking about this when we, first started about trying to be visible to them in the fog this morning. And as dark as those silhouettes are and the contrast there, I mean, for sure, that's a big deal.
Yep.
For sure.
And you don't have to worry about the shine or anything like that.
Right.
Well, the other thing that I love about what Tangle Free has done with their Flight Series full body decoys is if you've ever watched Heartland Waterfowl over the last several years, you'll see in our footage when we're picking up decoys, we've taken paracord and actually drilled out holes in the back of our decoys and tied our own paracord on there to make pickup a lot quicker. Well, Tangle Free is offering that with the decoy. It's I don't know what
Just
they
think,
can.
we should have trademarked that idea about 9 years ago because I remember helping do some of them snow goose decoys.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
should have done
Well,
something.
that's
I
something
mean, we
that-
should have contacted a lawyer about that one. I'm not saying we were the first ones,
Right.
but we were the first ones.
Right.
But I mean, aside from the tail loops,
The motion.
I'm a steak guy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I love
you
the
are.
steak.
We are. All of us are.
Yeah.
The big component to that is we can carry a lot more, right? In our trailer, and we can carry our snow goose decoys and our full body Canadas when we're going to hunt. Maybe in Oklahoma this year, for lessers and snows, or Canada, we can take all that. But then late season, we're hunting at home. Hey, let's throw the bases on. Now we can just chuck them in the trailer with the bases on. Don't have to worry about the stakes. So you have the best of both worlds, because the snow goose decoys come out of the trailer, in
Right.
January for the most part.
And the steak feels pretty hardy.
Dirt.
too.
Yeah,
durable.
very, very
Right.
durable. And
Yeah.
then it comes with bases too,
Right.
So a lot of the decoys
Right. You
nowadays,
gotta get one or the other.
It's either stakes or the bases.
Right.
You don't, and now
Right.
you have the best of both worlds.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great offer, and it's a lightweight steak. I know back in the day they had some steaks
The
that
metal-
were there.
the metal
They were metal
steaks.
and they were heavy. Not trying to speak disparagingly on those, Corey, if you're watching, but definitely love the advancement what you did with the Steaks in the Flight series, and love what they're done with the motion. We have always been big
Motion.
on the motion
I'm
cone
anxious to
concept.
I'm anxious to see the duck decoys.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to run some of those this year.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to shoot some ducks, Joe.
We could have shot a limited ducks this morning in this hotties.
gosh.
We could have shot a limited duck.
There was a good hatch of ducks up here
No doubt.
that nested in North Dakota for sure. So anyway,
South Dakota.
there was. I mean,
South
just-
Dakota. South Dakota.
We could have a pretty good duck hunt tomorrow morning too.
We did find a pretty nice duck feed.
Yeah,
tonight.
we did.
Oh,
So on the other
man,
side
that
of-
got me
on
excited.
the other
Just walk over the grassy knoll.
Yeah, man, that got me excited seeing them ducks tonight.
Yeah, on the other side of this wall is where all the North Dakota residents that are here then letting us stay, and when they hear me say that, they're really going to give it to me. But anyway, Tangle Free, thank you so much. Shout out also Eric Massey. He was also local in the Kansas City area, works with Tangle Free, longtime friend, and I know you're an advocate for us, man, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Tangle Free. Also excited to be partnered with a few others. For example, Buck Knives. It's great
Yep.
to be back with the Cutlery Company again, and so Buck Knives is going to be
American
helping us out a
made.
little bit. And they've been around for
American
like
made.
500 years.
Yeah.
And then I've been
Ducks
talking.
and bucks, baby.
Ducks.
Nick Theodoro, buddy, thank you so much, and Jake over there at Quack Rack. We are finally got something done with them. We're going to be featuring them here in season 11 of Heartland Waterfowl, so we're excited about that. And then I guess that's it. I guess we already talked about Kent Cartridge. That was on my list. So as we get close to wrapping up this particular podcast for the very first episode, this is being the first episode of season 11. Let's kind of talk about what the season has in store for us, and Logan handles that schedule.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Speaking of which, I need an updated schedule. I'll be expecting that in my email.
Check your email.
I'll be expecting that in my inbox.
You do have an issue with not reading your emails.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Joe's always the first to respond. Sorry, Ronnie.
Hey, at least I respond
In a text
to
message,
them.
he's always the first to respond to a text.
No. I respond to them email chains.
If there's free stuff involved.
Bullshit.
Okay. Anyway, what's the
nothing
schedule
in
look like?
September, which is crazy. I was looking at the schedule a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, man, September is just kind of a weird month.
Yeah.
But obviously, we typically do this every year as a Kickstarter, mainly to go walleye fishing. But we like shooting geese and knocking the rust off. Going back to Canada for the first time in 3 years
in the fall.
For the fall. Coming right back up here, North Dakota, for some ducks.
First week of November.
Maybe just stick to snows while we're up here too, Ronnie.
No, we're done. I'm with you, bro. I'm not.
Nah.
Yeah.
We're going out to them green eggs.
I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
But hunting in our backyard a lot in Kansas, 3-4 times there. Going with 5 land and holding, shoot cranes, quail.
Yep.
What else we got?
Tornado Alley.
Tornado. Oh,
Oklahoma?
We're going down to Oklahoma. Some First Light guys, Espar
Wyoming?
Outfitters.
Yep.
Jake Cohen and the guys down there.
Going back to Wyoming?
Yep, going back to Wyoming. Man, that's a cool trip. I got to get back on that one. I've missed it the last couple of years.
I'd love to go on that trip.
I've missed it the last couple of years
I
from
know.
SHOT Show.
It's
but
been a long time since I've hunted out of.
It's
a
pretty
pit.
awesome when the weather is 7 degrees
Oh
and
my
you're in a
God.
70-degree pit.
Yeah, and y'all smashed them.
It's
Well,
just
y'all
a
weren't there last year.
different style of hunting.
Completely.
Alex and Matt,
it's
and
incredible.
whoever went, I mean, they smashed last
For
year.
sure.
That's the pit life for sure.
Yeah, dude. I haven't hunted a pit in a long
Get the birds
time.
coming off the river, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Aaron does it right too. Seems like such a cool dude.
Oh, yeah, it's
salt of the earth, man.
Yeah, it's set up perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the guys there in Wyoming are great. All of them. I need to get back on that one.
Yeah.
It's so hard with obviously the girls now and SHOT Shows right around there, and then right when we come back, we have the home episode or the late Mallard split if we
It's
can
hard
fit
for
that
me.
in.
Dude, January is just a tough month for me, man.
Yeah,
It's busy.
Tough.
Very busy.
yeah.
So then we'll wrap up with Valley Oaks and Nate Meyer, and then in case you didn't know, we were able to get back to Canada in the spring for the first time since the pandemic. It was great to be back in Canada. It didn't turn out as well as we had hoped because we literally hunted in no wind every day that we were there, and it's just hard to finish big groups of snows. So we got in the 1s and 2s, but this will be our first trip back to Saskatchewan.
For a fall trip.
Trip
Yeah.
since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that in the fall, and then we'll finish back in Saskatchewan with another spring hunt in May. So
Yep. And we got some stuff in the works already for 24.
big things in 2024.
Some fun
We're
stuff.
not ready to announce that yet.
Some fun stuff.
Hang on.
I guess I'm not on that email.
Yeah, I guess
chain.
I'm not on that one. Don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, we definitely we don't include you on that one.
No. That's because I let the secret slip.
J Palumbo 16 does not get that email.
So as we wrap up the first episode of season 2 of Behind the Blind, but season 11 of our filming production, I just want to say thanks to Big Mike and Cody and Tyrell and of course Brenda, who lets us rearrange the entire cabin so we can set up a podcast studio. Thank you guys so much for being such great friends and supporters of Heartland Waterfowl and letting us come back every single year. And we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So we really appreciate it. So let's wrap it up. For Logan Burditt, Joe Palumbo, Everett Adkins, I'm Ronnie Philips. Check back tomorrow. We'll have another episode of Behind the Blind and let you know how we did.
Yep.
And make sure you go watch that video, comment. so
Check
you
out
can
the
win that.
video.
Yep. Tune in the rest of the week. We got a good one in the morning.
That's right. Comment so you can win those shells from Fast Steel, Kent Cartridge. We'll announce the winner at the end of the week.
Cheers, boys.
We'll just go in there
Cheers,
mopping
boys.
up those giant Hunterbird feeds,
What
boys.
time are we going walleye fishing tomorrow?
Yeah, we're talking about this goose hunting. I want to go walleye
We got plenty of
fishing.
night crawlers, right?
We got a walleye chop tomorrow out there.
About 9:45.
That reminds me, we had to rearrange that. If you can't do it, don't want to do it because you want to fish, I get it, but it's at 2 o'clock tomorrow.